Good day, everyone. So, our lesson for this afternoon is art and artisan, production, process, medium, technique, and curation. Art. So, when we say art, as what we have discussed a while ago, okay, art is an expression of your emotion or feelings, and it is a product of your imagination. Okay, that is art. Okay, in which we hold a philosophical view more on its aesthetic. Now, when we say artisan, on the other hand, it is a worker in a skilled trade or craftsman, especially one that involves making things by hand. So, artisans are craftsmen who work in different areas like textile, pottery, glass, and etc. Alright? So, when we say artisan, so he or she makes a a product from a certain craft, okay, using his or her own hand. Okay, that is an artisan. Now, what do you think is the difference between an artisan and an artist? Okay, what do you think? So I'll give you a second to think on to what might be the difference between the two. Okay, very good. So when we say artist, it focuses or they focus on creating aesthetically pleasing works, alright? While artisan, on the other hand, focuses on accessorizing and functionality more than aesthetics. In short, all of the artisans are artists, but not all artists are artisan. Okay, because artists, they focus on something that is pleasing to the eyes, the aesthetic beauty, while artisan focuses on the functionality of that certain work, of that certain products. Okay, and aesthetics can just follow. Okay, art manager art manager plans, directs, and coordinates all activities in that department, in the art department. So he or she executes the objectives, the specs, the concepts, the design, advertising, the media print, etc. Okay, in order to ensure that his or her goals are met within that certain budget. All right, that is the work of an art manager. An art curator, on the other hand, is responsible for implementing and managing exhibitions and collections, usually at museums, or collecting or organizing, evaluating, categorizing arts, collectibles, and historical items. Now, the good thing about a curator is that he or she is very good at trying to appraise item, a certain item. If it is of high value, what is the value of it? Okay, and he or she really sees a certain product not just based on its looks but also based on its history and is it how is it used, or its functionality. All right, an art buyer, on the other hand, is the person in which you, okay, if you are the art buyer, you are going to work with many clients, starting from the wealthy individuals up to the different agencies. Okay, so you are going to work with them. Okay, so you need to understand if who are you going to buy with, that you really need that art. Okay, so all the transpo, the packaging, you need to work with the art director or the art manager. Okay, if you are the art buyer. Art collectors, on the other hand, they are totally involved in the art market. They have this broad knowledge when it comes to arts. However, each of these art collectors are specialized in their sectors. They have different sectors with their different specializations. Example, these art collectors is more focused on coins from different era and civilization. This art collector is more focused on the pottery from different countries and different time, and so on and so forth. They have these different sector. Okay, Art dealer, on the other hand, is a person, or usually it is a big company, okay, or a group of businessmen, which usually buys and sells different arts, okay. So he or she connects with the collectors, the museums, the artist himself or herself, the sales, and of course the art themselves. Okay, so if you're an art dealer, usually you have a gallery to exhibit such arts, because if you want to sell your art, and of course you will be buying in bulk. Okay, you will not be buying in tingi tingi. So you will be buying in a vast number, and in order for you to have a profit. So we have three stages in production process. Okay, we have three stages. Okay, first, what we call the pre-pro, or the pre-production. So everything that you need to prepare, okay, before the production itself, this is where it happens. So if you are in the film arts, all the script, the cast, the location, the equipment, the crew, all and everything is happening here. Okay, so this is where the planning happens. Okay, together with the preparation. Now, after that one, the second process is the production. So the production is the action itself, or the process of it being manufactured. So if we are into film arts, the filming itself is part of the production. Okay, and of course the third one is the post production, or the post pro. Okay, after the filming has been done, after all the preparation has been done, we are now going to organize, cut, and put colors, and of course the very important, we need to edit it. Okay, everything from the production. Okay, so this is the final touch, the finishing touch of a production process, the post production. Now let's move on to the medium and technique approach. Okay, when we say medium, it refers to the different materials or supplies that an artist utilizes in order to create a work of art. Okay, so when we say medium, okay, it is where you usually, what are the materials that you use, those are the medium. Okay, technique, so when we say technique, this is the skill or the technical skills of that certain person, or the artist himself or herself. Okay, and now let's move on to visual, auditory, and combined arts. So let's start with the most common visual arts. So when we say visual arts, these are arts that forms that create works that are visual in nature. Okay, such as ceramics, drawing, painting, sculpture, everything that can be seen by your naked eye, or the product himself or herself should be seen using the naked eye, is a product of visual arts. Okay, next is the painting. So painting is a form of visual art, which is an image and created using pigments, which is also called color, on a certain surface. So here in visual arts, we refer to the image as the artwork, and the pigment as the color, and the surface as the ground. Alright, remember that one. Now here are the different pigments of the painter, wherein you can apply these different pigments to, okay, or the ground. Okay, so you can apply the pigments to a wet plaster, of course the most commonly known as canvas. Of course wood should also be there, of course, as well as the most affordable paper. Alright, so these four are the most basic uh, mediums where you can apply the pigments. So now you would ask me, what are the pigments, sir? So here are the different types of pigments. We have the oil, tempera, watercolor, pastel, fresco, acrylic. These are the basic, okay, because there are still many more. Now let's focus first on the oil color. So oil paint is a type of slow drying paint. So this is one of the most commonly used pigment before. Okay, so it is made from linseed oil, just like here in upper right image, that flower. We can take a linseed, that is a linseed, and we can get an oil from there, which is used to make a pigment. We call that as oil paint. Now, the advantage of using this one is you can create a vibrant hue from there, HUE, or a color. Okay, but its cons is it is very slow to dry. So kinahanglan jud ka maghulat, talaga maghihintay ka talaga. Next is the tempera. Tempera, it is also known as actually as egg tempera. So unlike the oil, this is a fast drying paint. Okay, and this is permanent. Okay, so you are going to mix it with a water soluble binder medium, which is usually made of egg yolk. That's why it is called egg tempera. So just like here, the birth of Venus. Okay, this is an example of a painting which in which the pigment that was used was tempera. Okay, thanks to my friend Sandro Botticelli. Okay, next is the watercolor. So it is made with a water soluble binder such as gum arabic, and it is thinned with water rather than oil. Okay, it gives a transparent color. So this is more of a user friendly pigment. Okay, because you can just it is it is a water soluble pigment. Okay, so uh, it would give a transparent or faded color, and this is the good thing about watercolor, and it works best on paper. Okay, next is pastel. So pastel, it is a dry drawing medium executed with fragile finger-sized sticks. So this is a part of the crayon family, which is specifically called of course as pastel. It is made with pigments combined with non-greasy binder, usually a gum tragacanth or a methyl cellulose, just like this one. In the lower right, that is a gum tragacanth. Okay. So next is the fresco. The fresco or the fresco painting is a method of painting which is water-based. Okay, it is usually applied in a wet plaster, which is used on the wall surfaces. Okay, so it is after the painting itself, it becomes a part of the wall. Okay, this is the good thing about the fresco. Next is the acrylic. The acrylic paint is a fast-drying paint made of pigment suspended in acrylic polymer emulsion and plasticizers. Now, the oil paint was actually good, but the problem that was mentioned was it is slow drying, right? Now, it was solved because in acrylic, okay, it is fast-drying pigment, okay? And it is also water soluble in a limited time, like just as when you applied it, it can still be soluble with water. But if you're going to take it more lengthy in a certain time, then it would also become water resistant when it is dry already. Okay, which is actually good, right? So we're done with that. Next, let's proceed with sculpture. Still, this is a part of the visual arts which operates in the three dimension: the length, width, and height. Okay, because the painting that was discussed earlier was in two dimension only. We have the length and width. Okay, so this sculpture is part of a discipline in arts. We call it as plastic arts, not plastic face, plastic arts. Okay, so the traditional carving models was carved in stone, the metal, ceramics, wood, and other materials. Okay, that is usually found. But when modernism came into the arts, okay, there is no restriction as to what medium you are going to use. Okay, Like you can just stack a pile of your labhunun, and you can form that as a face. Oh, that is sculpture. You can just stack a group of glasses there, plastic glass or drinking glass, and make it a form of a robot. That is sculpture. Okay, there is no limit. Now let us take a look on the different types of medium which is used in sculpture. First is the soft medium. So just like here, the clay. At first, it is really soft. Okay, you have to do a certain gesture to make it expand. Okay, and you need to continuously add it to add its height. Okay, so that is soft medium. And we also have this hard medium. When you are going to cut away from a certain material, just like for example a stone or a block of stone or a block of wood, so you are going to carve it away, you're going to subtract it in order to take it into a form. Okay, now in the processes used in major sculpture, we have two operations: the subtractive and the additive. In the subtractive, it is a technique wherein we are trying to remove a certain material in order to create a finished work. Okay? Say for example, we are given with a block of wood and we are going to form a hand out from that block of wood. So in order to create a hand out from that block, you are going to remove some materials from that wood in order to form a meticulous hand, right? So you are going to subtract. So that's why it is called subtractive process. But in the additive process, it's not. You are going to add materials, okay, in a certain time simultaneously in order to create a form. You are adding different materials in order to assemble a sculpture. So that is an additive process. Now let us take a look, because we're done with processes. Now let us take a look at the different types of sculpture. Relief. So relief is a combination of the 2D and 3D art. Okay, so 2D, just like here in our example, because it looks like it is coming out from its frame or from its canvas, right? But if you're going to take a look at the left and right side of that, you can see that the horse and the man there is like, it's like it is coming out from that frame. Okay, so from that point, that is made into somewhat three-dimensional. So that is called relief. Okay, we usually use this relief painting in order relief sculpture in order to hang it to our walls and etc. But in freestanding, of course, you cannot hang it to your walls because it is consuming a space on all sides. Okay, so just like the Statue of Liberty, etc., etc., just like the image below. Okay, that is a freestanding sculpture. The most commonly used material in sculpture are the stone and bronze and the wood. Okay, just like here in our example. So the artisans use different chisel, guys. Okay, chisel or tisa, in carving different forms from different materials. Okay, nasa lain-lain na materials. Ivory, from the elephant. We also have the terracotta. Okay, and the other materials are like the aluminum, chromium, steel, plastic, chemically treated clay, and stone for casting in liquid form. Okay, maragog ka to, just like the this chemically treated something. When you put your hand in there, in that liquid form, and it will be hardened in a few minutes. Okay, and as you can see, and if you are going to put a solution from there, your hand will be formed. Okay, that is what is meant by chemically treated clay and stone. Events, exhibitions, and managing audience. So these act as the catalyst of art and ideas to the public. Okay, what is the purpose of these exhibitions and events? So they represent a way of displaying and contextualizing art that makes it relevant and accessible to contemporary audiences. Because in order to appreciate art, okay, in order for others to appreciate art, they need to see the art themselves. Okay, and one way of seeing them letting them see what an artist is through an exhibition, through an exhibit, okay, through a gallery, okay. That's why there are various events wherein a mobile gallery and mobile exhibit are being organized in order for the people to appreciate art. All right, that's it. So I know you got the gist of it. Okay, so I hope you got it because we will have a quiz soon. All right, bye bye.